come? Oh, there's my friend Ann Keating saying loves Hairspray. How did you come up with or how did Hairspray come together? Maybe we should start there.
There was a producer named Margo, and she had a terrible flop on Broadway, caught a terrible cold, went to the video store, bought a bunch of videos, and just sat feeling very sorry for herself. And she put on videos thinking maybe I'll find my next project. And lo and behold, she put on John Waters' movie Hairspray, and 10 minutes into it realized this would be a phenomenal musical. So luckily for me, I had just done the movie South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, where I co-wrote all the songs and arranged and orchestrated with the brilliant Trey Parker, who's truly a genius. And so luckily my name was back on the lips and the minds of Broadway people because I'd moved to California and had done 10 years scoring movies. So luckily everyone kept saying to Margo, you should get this guy Marc Shaiman. It's a perfect sensibility between South Park and John Waters. So she called, and to make a long story short, we got the job. She said, who would you want to write lyrics? I said, me and my partner Scott, my at the time life partner Scott. We had been writing musicals before I moved to California. The marriage was not doing well with him having nothing to do in California, and I knew this would be so good for us. And so she said, well, you're going to have to write me some songs because I don't know you guys as lyricists. And we wrote songs that are all still in the show. Good Morning, Baltimore, Welcome to the 60s. All like the tent poles of the show are all what we wrote that week.
Wait, you did it in a week?
Boy, I'm talking fast, aren't I?
No, but I mean, you did the whole show almost in a week?
Well, no, but when we were so well suited for it that as soon as we started writing, the songs flew out of us. I mean, we both grew up in the 60s. We knew the music. Loving Bette Midler as much as I did, I also loved her arrangements of girl group songs. And I was just the perfect guy to do it. And me and Scott were the perfect team to do it. It was like no other gig before or after. It was the greatest.
Yeah, and obviously then it got made into a wonderful movie too. And
right.
You were involved in that, clearly.
Yes, that's unusual to be alive when they make a movie of your musical. I
mean, if you had to decide, which did you like better, the show, the play, or the someone said you're talking like motormouth Mabel.
Yeah, well, I keep thinking like someone's going to say, why is she talking to him? And then the
screen's going
to go black.
Stop it. Play. So, first of all, that's crazy. But play Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now, someone said.
Oh my God, of all the songs. Once upon I see I'm too old. I can't remember my own lyrics. Once a time. Boy, no one ever asked for that. Mama, I'm the big girl now.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite go-to song? Like when you? Oh, by the way, and I love that you arranged the Harry Connick Jr. album from When Harry Met Sally, which I must have played that a million times. And I really credit Harry and you for bringing, and the movie, obviously, for bringing back standards in such a big way.
That was the greatest thrill of it all. Not only that we had this huge success, but we would go out on the road and these like teenage girls and young people, young couples were just loving hearing It Had to Be You. I mean, this really old song. And it was a great thrill to realize, oh my God, we're helping to remind people, because for a generation or two that became just like elevator music, they just thought of it as muzak.
Oh no. And I I'm an old soul. I think I was probably born in the wrong century, or at least I don't know, whatever, half century, because I love George Gershwin and Cole Porter and all that music. And I remember I did a montage for my parents' anniversary to Our Love Is Here to Stay. And I just love the lyrics are so beautiful. They really are like poetry, right?
Yes, of course. That was the apex of the art form that time.
Yeah.
And the orchestrations for those great recordings.
Who was it that is the Gershwin historian who's always Michael Feinstein?
Michael Feinstein, yeah.
And are you guys friendly?
I was just on a Zoom thing with him just today. There was the nerdiest thing. It was like 200 orchestrator arrangers talking about this one specific orchestrator for MGM musicals. It's like a good thing about quarantine. This is something that never would have happened. And we were such nerds. I said to Lou, this is like when you're doing fantasy football. We're having our fantasy football moment right now, talking about, oh, when the oboe and the flute do that counter melody in the fourth measure of, yeah, it was the greatest thing.
That's so funny. All right, people want you to play. So, what when you sit down these days, I don't know, what are you enjoying playing, Mark? Are you playing much?
No, the sad truth is I don't really play much except when I'm working on something.
Really? You
Um,
don't just go down and just sort of, I don't know, just tinker around or not really?
isn't that sad? I should. What I should do is practice. My chops are not what they used to be. I should be
Really?
using this time to be. I should. I
Do you
can't even
play
do this.
classical music too?
No, it was. I mean, when I started really getting into having to play sort of more difficult classical music was the time when I discovered musical theater as a teenager, and then that was that. And all I wanted to do was, and so the rest of it went out the window.
Someone asked one of my favorite songs. I had my daughter sing this at my dad's 90th birthday party, which is "I'll Be Seeing You," which
Huh?
is an old World War II song, I believe, right? In all the old familiar places that
Yes,
this heart of mine embraces all day through. That's such a pretty song. Can you play that?
yes. I actually have a Bette Midler story about that song, but I'll just play it. I'm going
Okay,
to shut up now.
tell us the
Well,
Bette
it was
Midler
the
story.
first time I got to write for an orchestra. It was an AIDS benefit at the Met, on stage at the Met with a full orchestra, which I'd never written for before. And she wanted to sing, I'll Be Seeing You. And then she says, I want to hang on to the last note and have the orchestra segue into the Rose. But she wanted to sing I'll Be Seeing You in G flat, which was kind of low for her, but it's where she's. And so I had to figure out a way to go from G flat to C. And I was like, and how do I do that? So maybe if I play it, I'll sing the
Yeah,
end, and then we'll go into what I did to get into the Rose.
yeah, do it.
So I'll just play. I won't sing.
Okay.
I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing. Now imagine me holding this note a long time. You.
And then she starts singing the Rose.
Yes. Yeah.
That the Rose is in C?
Yes. Your key.
Play with me.
I will.
I don't know how that sounded, but it was fun.
It was fun. It was good.
How did that sound, Molnar? It was good. Thanks. You know, I think sometimes you have a hard time doing duets with this Instagram live
I know.
because,
If this quarantine goes on much longer, some genius has got to figure out how
right?
we can do things at the same time.
Well, you know, they I don't know if you saw Billy Stritch. I posted this today. Billy Stritch and the guy who wrote Annie, who wrote
Charles
Tomorrow.
Strauss.
Yeah,
Charles,
Charles Strauss, right? And
right.
I think it was Charles Strauss. But he called Billy Stritch and they said, "Oh, we need a song that'll cheer everyone up. I've got the perfect one." And then they had Andrea McCardle and all these interesting people. I think some of them, Sarah Jessica Parker, some of them had been in Annie. And
Right.
then I think there were some additional people, but you have to watch it. It's on my Instagram, and
So they
it's
all did
so
Tomorrow?
hot. Yeah, they all did Tomorrow. It was so great.
Fabulous.
Um, you know how to play that. Will you play that real quick?
Oh my God. Wait, I have a story about that one too.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. First, tell me the story about Tomorrow. You already told me the bet about I'll Be Seeing You.
When I first moved to New York, this somehow this woman heard about me, this kind of society woman who liked to sing, and so she hired me to come over her house and rehearse songs. She called me her Winder King, my Winder King. And so one night she said, "My husband's been invited to a backers audition. You want to come with us, the Sardies?" And it was a backers audition for Annie. And I'll always remember on the cab ride home, she said, "So are you going to invest money?" And he said, "Who wants to see a musical about a cartoon strip?"
Oh, boy. Is that C? Is that the key of
Oh,
C?
I can put it in C. C for Couric. Wow. Uh-oh, C minor.
I know. Oh, whoa. I just took a picture of you accidentally. Hold on.
Was that a stop? Everybody!
Hey, by the way, Kristen Chenoweth, who I know you've worked with too, I think it's the most, is she not the cutest thing on the planet?
Yes, and the most talented. Oh my God, is she good?
Isn't she awesome?
You
And
know what?
how
I have a
that
story
voice
there
mark
too.
comes out of that little package.
I know. She came over to pre-record the song Miss Baltimore Crabs when she did Hairspray for NBC Live. And usually when people record in my home studio, I kind of keep my back to them so they don't feel funny because we're so close to each other. So I just sort of look at the computer over here. And then at one point, it was so good. And I was only listening. I just was like, screw it. And I just sat there and watched her perform this song. I had the greatest front row seat. It was just the
Uh,
best.
yeah, she's amazing. By the way, if someone said, who is the gentleman you're speaking with? This is Marc Shaiman, the composer and lyricist extraordinaire. And we just thought it would be fun. He's one of my favorite people. He's so ridiculously talented. I just thought I feel like music is really helping people get through this because it is one of those, rare communal experiences that brings people together, especially in this not only divisive time but scary time. So I'm relying a lot on music myself. So
Yeah. I mean, and I'm as busy now as I usually am suddenly after a few weeks of shell shocked. There's so many songs I'm working on, the videos.
Really?
I know I
So, well,
sent you the one.
tell us what you're doing.
I did that one I sent you called God Save the City, a song I wrote
Oh, that was
42 years
beautiful.
ago that my friend Jennifer Lewis sang, and we cut it to images of the empty cities. And just yesterday, this kid who was in a musical of mine did a great version of a song from Hairspray that he retitled Good Morning Quarantine. And he's really talented, and I helped him form the lyrics so that it really rhymed like a Broadway musical lyric. And he did a great job. And now we're working, coming out next week on a really big, another Hairspray-centric song. I'm not supposed to say, but it's going to have hundreds of people in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a poor editor right now who must be
Oh,
tearing
can
her
you give
hair
us
out.
that? When you say hairspray centric, a song from.
You can't stop. I can't do it. I can't.
Oh, that's so exciting. That is so exciting. Oh, someone asked me if I could do this with Chris Bodie. I was thinking I should do that with Chris Bodie because we could ask him to play some songs on the trumpet.
Yeah, or you could just ask him to stare into the camera.
I dated him for a
Oh,
nanosecond.
that's right. Oh, yeah, you don't have to squint to look at him. Yeah.
Oh, my husband just goes, "Oh, brother." Molnar, it was just for a couple months and I married you, you lucky devil.
Yeah, but if he keeps, escaping to the city for a change of scenery, you should
Exactly.
show him a picture of Chris Bodie. Yeah.
So listen, someone said, ask him about Julie Gold. She was my camp counselor. My friend Dana just texted me. She's watching. Ask him about, and she was my camp counselor and wrote From a Distance and won a Grammy for it.
Yeah, after Winning with My Wings, it was time to make another record. And I called a man named Stephen Holden, who was a reviewer for the New York Times, who had written a few nice reviews of me. And I said, what have you heard out there? And he's the one who said, there's a song called From a Distance that this girl, Julie Gold, wrote. You should get your hands on that. Sure enough, we got our hands on it. And 2 years in a row, Bette Midler had the songs that both won Song of the Year. So that was a good time. And
Yeah.
Julie Gold, so what a song. Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that song too. I think it's beautiful. Oh, someone asked about Randy Rainbow. Have you been watching him?
He's just so brilliant. I've become friends with him. I did a one cut on his Christmas record. I mean, I wrote him today. The one that came out today, maybe 32 hours after Trump spoke of, injecting disinfectant, Randy came up with maybe his best one yet. And he wrote it and he records it and he writes it and he performs it and films it and edits it. And the fact that this came out a day later.
I know I'm in awe of him. How does he do that?
Well, he's just a genius at it. He's also so funny. People should go back and there are other videos he made for BroadwayWorld.com that are just not music parodies. It's just him on the phone pretending to be talking to celebrities and he just uses the voice, little bites of them. He's so funny. And when I ran into him before his big success, I cornered him. I said, you are the real thing. He's got like Sid Caesar comedy timing. Like,
Well, so his name is Randy Rainbow.
and
Someone's
it really
asked him.
is Randy Rainbow. Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's his
No,
real name? Oh, come on.
his mother is Gwen Rainbow. I forget where it all comes from, but they really are named Rainbow.
So
But he's a nice Jewish boy. I don't know where that comes from.
does he live in New York?
Yes.
And how does he do all that? He has a studio, and obviously he's an incredible
He just taught himself how he does it.
editor.
He does it all. He finds the tracks to sing to. He harmonizes with himself. He films himself. He just figured it out. I was just hearing him talk the other day. He never really went on auditions. He just was hanging out in the Broadway scene, working in producers' offices, and just discovered he could make his own thing in his own apartment. It's just incredible.
So I have a question. So I just discovered him during this quarantine, Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, you have to go way back and catch up.
I know. So how do I see all the videos? Just on YouTube, right?
Yeah, just type in Randy Rainbow and fall into that hole.
And dive into the vortex. By the way, I want you to watch Kristen Chenoweth because she does this singing in the bathtub uh, song. What is it called? Is there some Broadway term for people? Uh,
Stage starved?
no, 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 no. Where she does this thing where she goes in the bathroom and she sings on Saturday nights.
Oh, yeah, it's Saturday in the bathroom. I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, she's going to sing. I requested a song for my father-in-law. I requested Dream a Little Dream of Me by Mama Cass.
Sure.
Yeah, I asked her to play that for her, John. You have to call him, and so he can watch at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, play us one more song. Oh, it's Saturday in the bathroom, they said.
yeah.
Play us something else. Just play us something that'll make us feel good before we say goodbye.
Let's get to the ending.
No, hey, you know what I think you should do? Get Lou to hold the thing so we can see you play.
Oh,
And I also think, is he here? Lou, will you hold the thing? Hi, Lou. Look at that.
Hello.
He's got quite a head of hair, that Lou.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Lou.
No haircut time.
It looks good. Can you turn it around so we can hear Mark and see his? There you go. I think it'll sound better, too.
See, now you see my fat gut. Oh.
No.
I love you still. It had to be Jews. Wonderful.
Thank you, Mark. We'll have to do this again, and I know that everybody would love. I'm going to ask maybe if you'd be willing to do it again. I'll get requests in advance.
Yeah.
And maybe we can figure out a way where we can play duets and it sounds good. I don't know. I couldn't tell what it sounded like because I can't really hear you. I can only hear me.
Right. I think if I do like the accompaniment and you do the melody, we can.
Yeah, I was thinking like breaking up is hard to do would be fun. And that's in the key of C. And the other song, you know what I think is a great song? I didn't realize until recently that Hoagie Carmichael wrote Heart and Soul. Yeah. You know, the song, the duet, Everybody Learns on the Piano, has the most beautiful introduction. Have you ever heard it?
I am sure I did when I was a kid. I had that music sheet, but I can't remember now what it is.
Anyway, I had this Crystal Gale recording of Heart and Soul, and she was singing all sorts of Hoagie Carmichael songs, and it was awesome.
I will check it out.
Okay. You're like, whatever, Katie. Anyway, all right, Mark, I'm going to go help John cook dinner. He's making me dinner.
And Lou and I are going to go back to our Sopranos binge watch. We're on the last 3 episodes.
Well, I'm not going to give away what happens. But the fact is nobody knows.
Yeah, I know. I actually saw the finale of the season finale.
Anyway, well, great to see you. Tell Lou I said thank you for putting up with this. Big kiss. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Katie.
Okay. Bye, Mark. Bye.